a weird way to end that.
But it shouldn't.
Nobody wanted to see him die. I don't
I'm
think.
not saying it had to end like that.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying at all.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, you bring up a great point with Barfly. Okay.
Yeah.
It ends the way it begins. So does Waiting for Godot. And when you watch either of those things, you're not sitting there going, "What a fucking jip." That show could have ended the way it begun, but it was executed poorly. It was not executed in a cinematic or interesting fashion. It was cheap, man.
Let me say
They
this.
spent 10 minutes watching the chick park the fucking car, and it's like, okay, that created a little tension.
I got you.
But it's stupid.
David Chase only directed 2 episodes, the first one and the last one.
It was all Van Patten after that.
Yeah, it was all
Timmy
other
Van
guys.
Patten.
What about
It was weird
Boardwalk Empire?
When
Do you
Dick
like that?
Van Patten directed, the show was very shaky.
I thought all the Van Pattens were the same bloodline.
They are.
Oh, they are?
I want to say this real quick. I think your argument works against you, and that is that David Chase created something so perfect, there is no way to end it.
Oh, come on. Come on.
We're going to take a commercial. We'll be right back with Joe. No commercials.
What?
What's up, Joe?
The Sopranos is the reason why all the cable networks have phenomenal shows that people flock to. Because before that, there was really no show
Joe,
that people
Otto's friend Joe's a great point.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for The Sopranos, we wouldn't be watching Dexter because we didn't. The Sopranos made cable television a destination. If you like your movie Oscar-winning people on television, you can thank The Sopranos.
I don't. I'd like them to get the fuck off of television. Make room for guys like me. Go make fucking movies, you cocksuckers.
No one else feels that way, Joe.
Yeah, I know. So
can we talk about
Joe's
figures
harsh.
more?
The Shield. I mean, there are other shows. I'm not saying that the show has not had a cultural impact. I'm not arguing that point.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it was groundbreaking in certain ways. I think there were many other shows that are involved in that. I think The Shield was a crucial show. I mean, that was FX's big thing when they first came around. But all I'm saying about The Sopranos is I was not a fan of the show. And I don't think it's as good as everybody says it is. I think it's very, very overrated.
You know, you said The Godfather and Goodfellas, like that's
I think
what
The Godfather's
mafia is, what
overrated.
they really like. They're not like that. The guy that Don Corleone was based on murdered a guy he went to the guy's wedding, murdered him because he wanted to fuck his wife, and then later on fucked the guy's wife. That's what they're not like these righteous
That happened with Crazy Horse.
mafioso guys.
Well, I don't think they look. I think I know it did. It did actually.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's where we talked.
Have you
about
seen the
that.
movie Magic 1,000 times?
Not to sound stupid, but the book was way better because in the book you didn't know that he was a vent, and it was just a he
Event,
did
is
some
that industry speak for ventriloquists?
Yeah, ventriloquist. He's always talking to this guy Fats. You know he does something in the entertainment world, and it's revealed halfway through the book that he's a fucking insane ventriloquist with a demonic puppet. And you couldn't do that in the movie. So the movie went from the first chapter to the last 2 chapters just to see Anne Margaret naked in the woods there. So the book was fantastic. The movie, not so good.
Yeah, but the book doesn't have Anthony Hopkins.
No. I mean, it's early Anthony Hopkins, and it's great, and I love Burgess Meredith's scenes, but it wasn't what I don't think they've done a definitive crazy vent movie yet.
You know what I love about that movie is that Anthony Hopkins plays the son of an American, and he still has his English accent.
Yeah.
Like that guy won't drop that fucking accent for shit, man.
No.
Because he's fancy.
He's playing Alfred Hitchcock now. I saw some pictures of him doing like a screen test.
Yeah.
Looks really good.
It does. I really like the HBO movie they just did about Hitchcock.
Yeah, that
The
guy
girl.
was great.
Toby Jones. That guy's.
Toby Jones played Capote.
Oh,
you
he's
can only
great.
play effeminate bald men, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
He also played Donald Rumsfeld. In
Oh,
W.
that's right.
Yeah, he's great, man. That
Like I
guy's
said,
great.
effeminate bald men.
Yeah.
All right. Don't make a big deal out of it, DeRosa. You're the wind beneath my wings, etc.
That's great.
Is there a resentment? Do you ever have a resentment that you have to go on stage with a figure?
No, but carrying the trunk through Midtown was kind of a fucking inconvenience. I was enjoying my couch time today. Like, I got to do Jay Mohr. Ugh. No, I went to bed with my toes tapping under the sheets, knowing I was going to see you today.
Can we just isolate that to put in the opening credits? I went to bed with my toes tapping under the sheet. You sound like Chris Sarandon. You want to talk to him? Talk to him. He'll kill me.
You're killing everybody else, Leon.
So you never look at the puppet as like you never loathe.
I
or
envy
hate.
that a comic could just walk in with his mouth and just their body and their brain and do a set. Now you got to carry that thing around. It's a pain in the ass to travel with,
But you never look at him alone in your house and go, ugh.
And resent that he's getting...
Resent that you got to lug him around. He gets all the laughs.
No, I mean, this is the business I chose. You know.
Here, never complain.
Yeah.
I
Someone put a bullet in his eyebrow.
Business.
Yeah.
Michael. Here's the thing, though, also is, I guess, a better way to tee up the question for you is, I don't think I know, and Joe knows, and that Joe knows, and you know. It would be great if, like, for 20 minutes, I'm like, and Anthony knows, and Jimmy knows, and Club Soda Kenny knows.
And then you forgot what you had to say.
Our shadows move around us, going through the fucking window. This guy loses 4 pounds of sweat heat.
Time elapsed over there.
Like, we know how much work goes into everyone thinking it's just a puppet act. Like, the effortlessness, to watch it is effortless.
Well, the tradition was to wear black so your eye would be drawn to the doll. But on TV, you're judged a lot harsher. The few times I've been on TV, they just stare at my technique and try and see movement, you know.
Because your lips do move.
Yeah, but not always. If you see some of my specials, I mean, my spots or whatever you call them, I did my technique, you know, right. So what's the difference? It's more, to me, it's more impressive that they think George is real and my lips are moving at the same time. That's more of an achievement, you know.
How many buttons and levers and knobs are actually inside the back of the figure?
There's the mouth, the eyebrows, the eyes moving side to side, and the winkers, 4.
What a winker? Oh, like a wink. He
closing
blinks?
his eyes. And then the Kennedy is just to jerk him forward and stop short, and the wig flies up. But that brain I have in there is an actual realistic depiction of how much of his skull was missing on the real Kennedy's autopsy. A third of his skull was gone. It was this much brain was showing.
Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
it's pretty
What's
messed
great
up.
about that bit, aside from everything, is when you put George on your lap, one leg over each side, the puppet goes, "My balls, you asshole!"
Yeah.
Side saddle, motherfucker. Like,
Yeah.
and then the audience actually goes, "Ooh!" Like he hurt his balls. Like you really completely convince everybody.
And I do the actual assassination. Governor Connolly's wife said to Kennedy, they're all applauding. She goes, "Well, you can't say the people of Dallas don't love you." And that was the last exchange.
No,
he
you
had.
certainly
And he
can't.
was like, "Yeah, bang," and then he was dead. So I do that.
Jesus Christ,
yeah,
really?
that was the last thing he said. Yeah,
I never knew that.
yeah.
And
Go.
Miller-esque, you're the only guy that could do a Kennedy assassination and immediately segue into a Cy Sperling Hair Club for Men bit. Like, somehow, you ever seen him do that?
No.
The puppet has his head flopped over and his hair's in his eyes and his brain's all over the front row.
Yeah.
And then he just turns the puppet around with that awful, his hair is hanging in his eye. He goes, "Not only am I the Hair Club president, I'm also a client." Like, that's Dennis Miller level segue. It's awesome.
Dennis Miller and me worked together, but I don't remember him. But this club called Good Times, he remembers everything about me. I don't remember.
Everyone
the fucking
remembers
guy.
everything
But
about
I don't
you,
remember
Otto.
working with him.
Yeah, you're a hard guy to forget. Not that Dennis Miller is easy to forget, but I mean, I think you tend to remember a guy with a thing on his lap saying "cunt" to people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I saw you at Caroline's, and it was Fleet Week. And all the Navy people filled Caroline's on a random, like, Tuesday night.
Yeah, yeah.
And for some
Buck
reason,
privates.
Otto Peterson heaven, the entire first 3 rows were black women in uniform. Like, you must have walked on stage like, "Oh, my God, this is going to be great."
Yeah. I tend to get a little nervous when it's one black person. Then I'll start to edit myself
Do
because
you
I
ever
don't
feel
want them
bad
to.
for that person? Like,
Well, I don't
wanna
want
ruin
them
his
to
night.
feel bad. You
Yeah.
know? So, but then I stop. Like, I do this joke that a black girl's pussy looks like a wallet. So then I'll think, I go, should I leave that out? It's a black woman. She's definitely not going to find it funny. But then if I edit it from my act, then it means that I had a mean intention to begin with. So I just leave it. Don't change anything. They're there to see you. If you change it, then you're overthinking it. You
And
know?
that's the genius of it, is you let George say it, and then you tell George on stage, like, "Wow, how could you say that?
Yeah.
That's horrible." And then,
Well-
that's what people don't understand.
Yeah.
It's like, there is a there has to be a level of schizophrenia. You said
Probably,
it.
yeah.
What do you mean, probably?
Yeah. But I mean, I don't.
I've heard
talk to
story
them at
about
home
you
stuff.
and your buddies,
Yeah.
lighting up, and you're like, "I gotta get George out of the car; he'll get mad at me." But that's you. You're saying, you're putting on record that you feed into our the rest of us comics. You feed into the legend of Otto and George by arguing with the puppet off stage on purpose.
Well, when I did Opie and Anthony, I brought George the first time, and it's because they're still, even though it's two guys, they're still an audience, and they're going to have a childlike reaction to a dummy. You know, it brings a certain childlike element out of people, you know. But then after a while, I had to bring him because I can't get his voice unless I'm holding him. It's a fucked up thing.
Did you really?
Yeah, I can't get the voice accurately unless he's attached to my arm. It's weird. I did looping once.
Let me hear you do it.
It doesn't sound right to me. Maybe that's a little close.
Ashaga. That you say.
Guilty. It's not right. It doesn't sound right to me.
It does sound a little different.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But to the listeners, you got to understand how strange that is, that there's a guy that's a ventriloquist act that can't do the voice of the figure unless his hand is in the figure.
Yeah.
Like, that is like the movie magic.
I could do it, but barely that it sounds right. It sounds like he's got a sore throat. It didn't sound right to me. It didn't sound right.
No.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like when you watch like the cast of The Simpsons do the voices like on Inside the Actors Studio,
Right.
and you're like, it sounds a little, something's a little different.
They're not in the
You can't tell
booth.
what
There's
it is.
something that changes in their body or whatever when they're in that booth with, you know, the place that they're used to doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very funny. Very interesting, man. Very interesting. Can you do other voices and things at all?
Yeah, I do some impressions. Joe always tells me I do a decent Woody Allen, but...
I'll do it.
You should do Woody Allen with
Star Smile Strong.
You should do Woody Allen with George and have George smash your Woody Allen.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to believe. Yeah.
Either it would work or George could call me a fucking talentless douchebag. So either way, it's gonna work. Yeah, in the act.
I just fucking realized that
Language.
But then I feel like I'm showing off if I start doing now I'm doing impressions. I'm trying to show off how versatile I am. I hate that.
Come on.
Really?
That's all we do every night on stage is show off.
Yeah, but I don't want to look like I'm showing off. I just want to
I don't
get
think
in
anybody
and get
would
out.
think that, Otto.
Really?
Come on. No way.
But how do I start that in the act? And the act is already set. I'm suddenly going to
Wait for a
go,
12-year-old Asian lady to sit in front of you.
Yeah.
On action, I want to go back to the dialogue. You know, in my life, there's been 2 times. The first time I really felt like I had made it. It had nothing to do with a show I had gotten or done. It was when I was on Martin Short's show, Jiminy Glick.
Yeah.
And I showed up. It's him and Michael McKean. And there's no pre-interview. And Bernie Brillstein goes, you just go out, you sit out. You guys just have a good time. And I realized, oh, my God, I've just been told by Bernie freaking Brillstein, just sit with Martin Short and Michael McKean and just goof off, and we're going to film that. Like, I was trusted to that.
Yeah.
Dude,
that to me made me feel like I had made it more than anything on my resume.
Wow.
And going to Otto to put it on Otto, when Otto was on action, there was stuff written, and then what wound up on the cut, what wound up got used but wasn't aired was Otto and Buddy Hackett.
Me and Hackett rewrote the scene. We
You
went
guys
back to the
ad-libbed
trailer.
for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And George was saying, Hackett goes, what are you in for? The puppet says, what are you in for? And he goes, faking a prescription, you? And he goes, caught in a pot with a whore, you know, Hugh Grant, Eddie Murphy, the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
And like no one went, like, that's what's amazing about the Otto and George. It is a phenomenon. Like, would you agree?
Yeah.
Like,
I remember we only
like
did
no one went, you can't say the whole fucking thing. Like, it never occurred to any of us that you can't say fuck on television.
Well, I think that's what like a mark of real admiration is. It's when everybody's mind gets off of what we shouldn't be doing right now and what we have to be doing and what the guidelines are here. They just look at the person and go, I trust you, dude. That's fucking hilarious. And that's
Did you
their
feel
only
like
focus.
Yeah, did you
know?
feel like after that day, did you drive home with a sense of like, well, I must have made it somehow because Buddy Hackett just wanted to ad-lib with me?
Did I feel? I felt like the whole thing was arranged because you just wanted to see George and Hackett in a scene together. I didn't think I
wanted
had
it on
earned
television.
that spot on TV because I don't audition for anything, never.
Well, neither did Hackett.
Yeah. Well, he's Buddy Hackett. You know, he's
you're Otto and George.
but he's an institution. He's been in a lot of features and family.
You're an
friendly
institution,
things.
it's just a much smaller restaurant.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a good, decent restaurant in a bad location, whatever the fuck that meant.
But did you? So you didn't come away from that feeling like, wow. What was your feeling?
Oh yeah, I was on cloud 9, spending a day with Buddy Hackett.
But Buddy Hackett,
Yeah,
you obviously in the
with
moment.
palm trees, and I'm in California. That was
You
amazing.
had to have thought
Yeah.
in the moment, Buddy Hackett really thinks I'm hysterical.
Yeah.
right?
I don't know if he thought, because he might have been a little bit pissed that I wasn't doing the scene right. I don't know what he was thinking.
No, I mean it was hysterical. Do you remember all the lines?
I don't. I only remember a few lines. I do have